Okay, here we have a 2015 Volkswagen Jetta 2.0. We got this from the auction. Had when we got it, had a dead cylinder, cylinder one. It was a complete miss. Also had a 2302A, which is an ignition coil circuit A, so it'll be A, B, C, D. So we had a misfire cylinder one, and then we had a code for the ignition coil. Now I did notice before we bought this vehicle that all the coils were new, so I didn't think there was going to be an issue there. A lot of times I've had issues where these pins get pulled out, but that wasn't the case here. This just pulled back and up. I have to do that. This wasn't the case here. This is more of what the video is going to be about, because this is actually my second time dealing with an issue with broken wires in this harness or in this general area on these Volkswagens. So 2302, again, it could be any of the coils. So initially we started with the wiring diagram just to kind of get a feel for what it was. We were getting power, ground, so we have two grounds. The red is going to be power. We were getting everything correctly. I tried just to be sure, swap coils, swap spark plugs, just to be sure. Nope, misfire stayed in cylinder one. So like I said, we were getting power and ground. So my next step was looking at this purple and green wire. Each cylinder is going to be a little bit different. That one's purple and blue. Each cylinder is going to be different. I'll show you the wire diagram here in a sec. But essentially, I followed where this wiring goes. And we had another issue before with a turbo boost pressure sensor. So this wire, as you can see, is also in this general area, and it goes up here. So before we had a code on a different Volkswagen for this turbo boost pressure sensor and found a broken wire in this area. But the issue was right here, this purple and green wire. So once we took it all apart, I will put a picture of how we found it. This is all soldered in shrink tube at this point, but as you can see, all four coils from the PCM are going to go through here. And I think it has a clip here. It goes underneath this bracket. I think if it just gets to a point where these wires got taped, and that's where the brake was. But again, this is for any Volkswagen 2.0, 1.8. Sorry about that. It's going to be all the same. But if you have an ignition coil circuit code and all the coil has been replaced, you're making sure you're getting your power and ground, this would be a good place you want to look at. Look at these wires, following the wiring diagram. So we can see ignition coil circuit A was the violet and green, followed where it went to the PCM. I also double checked that. These connections, all that looked good, but this was right in the middle. So I will show you the all data real quick, but again, moral of the story, check right here for any kind of ignition circuit codes. So yeah, as you can see here, really ECM, which I just doubted. Ignition coils already been addressed. Wire in between ignition coil and ECM, so that's where our issue was. So just following that. But again, if you have any of those for any cylinders, ours was cylinder one. That would be a good place to see. Here's just kind of the reference, kind of what you want to be expecting.